Today I'm going to talk about how to fill out the IRS Form W-4 for 2018, married filing separately with kids. Now, it doesn't matter if you have kids, 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kids. We're going to fill out the online version, which is much easier, and it's going to help us answer all these questions. Now, if you're trying to fill out the paper version, that's okay. You can have the paper version. You can transfer the online version to the paper version. It's super simple, really easy. Just watch this video. We'll walk through it. So we're going to start with the online version. If this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, Certified Financial Planner with Sickle Hunter Financial Advisors. So as I mentioned, we're going to fill out the online version. I'm going to pull it up on the screen in just a minute, and it doesn't matter. We're going to do it today for married filing separately, but it really doesn't matter what filing status you have because the online version makes it really, really easy. Again, if you have multiple kids, 1, 2, 3, or more kids, or dependents, or a retirement plan, the online version is the way to go. You'll be able to use the information at the end to quickly and easily put it on the paper version and give it to your employer. So here we go. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. All right, so here we go. This is the IRS W-4 app online. It's apps.irs.gov. That is the URL at the very top. It is the online version. And here we go. So the first page is pretty straightforward. We're going to do it today for married filing separately. So just check off that box. Now, can someone claim you as a dependent on his or her tax return? We're going to click no today and click continue. So this is where most of the information gets filled out right here. So the first line item is select the total number of jobs in which you're currently or will be employed. So if you had more than one job this year, then go ahead and put it in there. If you have more than one job right now, go ahead and put it in there. Again, you'll kind of understand once you go through this, what this is looking for. We're going to stick with one job. And check box if you held this job but are no longer employed. And again, it's going to ask you, what did you earn at the last job? Because when you file your taxes, it includes everything. So let's move on. The second checkbox for tax-deferred retirement plans. So if you have like a 401k at work, that's going in pre-tax, so it's lowering your taxable income. So we want to make sure that we account for that. If you have it, check it off. If not, leave it unchecked. Again, same thing if you have health insurance or a cafeteria plan. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to skip right down to the dependents. So we're going to have 2 dependents. We're going to start with 2 kids. So we're going to say it's 2 dependents. So scroll down to the next section. Now, here's an interesting part. If you have child care, this is the important part, care expenses, then fill out this first part right here. And how many people, right here, select how many people or how many kids that you're sending to daycare. Basically, that's what it's for. We're going to put 0 there, and we're going to leave no cost. But if you do have the cost, put it in there. Qualifying children, this is where we should put our 2 again. So it's basically saying, how many dependents do you have first? And then tell us, are they adults or are they kids? Basically is what it's saying. So we're going to say it's 2 kids right there. And we are going to click continue at the bottom. So for this example, I'll just say that we make $50,000. Put it in there. Put whatever your income is. Any bonuses that you will expect to earn. If you don't expect to earn them, put it 0. And this next section is you're going to pull this information right off of your pay stub. So your pay stub should have how much you've withheld year to date. Now, if it's a new job, you obviously have withheld nothing. But if you withheld in previous jobs, it'll also be there. You want to make sure that you're putting an accurate number in here so you don't over or under withhold. As accurate as possible. But if you haven't withheld anything, put 0. Again, that information is going to be right off your pay stub. If you don't have a pay stub or don't have that information, ask your employer. They should be able to tell you pretty easily, or your HR department. Now, the next section is going to put how often you get paid. So let's put twice a month. Twice a month is 24 times a year, and every 2 weeks is going to be 26 times a year. Again, a question that you can easily ask your employer Or if you're like on something like the 1st and the 15th, that's going to be twice a month. So if you have set days of the month, that's going to be the twice a month. So it's going to be 24 times. It adjusts it again slightly. And when you started this job. So this is also important because it's assuming how much we're going to get paid. So let's say we took this job right now in the middle of the year. Well, it's going to change the amount that we're going to withhold on each paycheck. So it's important they get this right as well. So let's just say we start on September 1st. Click continue. We're going to skip this section because we're going to take the standard deduction. In this case, it's $12,000 for anyone that's single or married filing separately. It's going to be $12,000. So click continue. So here you can see exactly what you need to do. So for the only job you entered right there in the middle, we're going to have 31 allowances. I mean, that's a ridiculously high amount, but it's accurate. And the reason it's accurate, because you got to think of everything that is going into this calculation. You're going to have your income level, your standard deduction, and your dependents. Remember, the dependents for each child that you have, it's $2,000 that you're getting this credit on. So it's significantly less in taxes that you're paying. And $50,000 is on the lower side of incomes, especially if you have a few kids. And remember too, that $50,000 for having these 2 kids, that's not a lot of income for 2 kids. Now we're married filing separately, so there's probably other support in the household, but that's what we're dealing with right now. So you literally will just take this 31 allowances and we'll put it onto the paper version. And that's really the information you need. Now, remember, we started this job in September 1st. So let's just show you why this is so important. Let's say we put that to January 1st. So why is that different? Because in January, if we started this job in January and haven't withheld anything, now for the rest of the year, right? Just for easy math, let's say it's in the middle of the year. For $25,000 has already been paid to us, but the other $25,000 hasn't. So we can only withhold based on that $25,000. So let's click continue now. And you're going to see that it's adjusted to all the way down to 7 allowances. But notice this, the total tax for the year is exactly the same. It's $373. So that's your estimated tax liability. Again, let's go through that again. So $373 won't change no matter how often we get paid. So let's change that again. Let's change that date. Let's change it to April 1st. Click continue. Click continue. Again, 11 allowances. So you can see every time we do this, the allowances change, but the total tax does not. So this is the information that you want. It's giving you a good idea of what your estimated is. And again, your income is also going to affect this. So let's say we make $80,000. That'll affect it quite a bit. Click continue. Click continue. So you can see our tax payment or our estimated tax went from $373 all the way up to $6,905 just for making an extra $30,000. So the first 50 was taxed very low, and it's because of all the credits. It's all the credits that we're getting. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act for 2018, for those 2 kids, that doubled. It went from $1,000 per kid to $2,000. So it's $4,000 in tax credits. That's a lot of money. That means for every dollar in taxes up to $4,000, we don't have to pay anything. So that's why it's so significant. So if you're looking from previous years and you're saying, wait a second, my allowances seem so much higher, that is exactly why. Because there are multiple things that are going on with the 2018 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that's reducing your tax liability quite a bit. So it's quite a big benefit. So that's all you need to do. Take this, transfer it to the first page. That's all you need is the first page of the W-4 at the very bottom, line 5, put it in there, give it to your employer. That's all you need to do. They'll go ahead and apply it to your paycheck moving forward, so you're withholding the correct amount. If you have questions or concern, you can revisit the calculator. You can update your W-4 at any time with your employer. There's a lot of flexibility here, but you want to make sure it is as accurate as possible, so you're withholding the correct amount. So you don't get any huge tax surprises at the end of the year or when you go to file your taxes. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.